Well, hey, how's it going? So before us, we've got the hologram, Microcosm, and Chroma console, two amazing effects pedals, multi-effects pedals, that honestly can open up so many new levels of creativity, no matter if you're a guitar player, a synth player, a producer, a drummer, a vocalist, whatever the case may be, there is a place for you with these pedals. And they do a lot of amazing things. There's a lot of effects built in that you can explore. There's been some videos that we've put out on this channel and tons of videos that other people have put out. But one thing that I thought would be interesting to check out would be the way that both pedals loop and hold. Hold being kind of like that infinite freeze, that pad sort of thing. Because they both can do it, and they do it very well, but completely differently. And I wanted to show that to you. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's talk real quick. I would love for you to hit like and subscribe to this channel and this video. Of course, any comments you want to make on this or any of our videos are most welcome. We love the conversations that we're having here. But we're also finding that there's some deeper conversations to be had. And for that, we've opened up a Patreon. And in the link down in the description, you can go check out our Patreon page. As a monthly collaborator, you get early access to all our videos. You get some exclusive content. But you also get free access to any of the presets that we've made for any of the pedals or platforms that actually have downloadable presets. So go check it out. That's where that is. There in the description. Right now, let's talk about both these folks. Let's get rid of all that. All right, so now they're both bypassed, and let's do a quick clean tone test. I am running my Fender Tele into a 29 pedals Una, into the 29 pedals Flower. Both of those off screen. So here is what the clean tone is. All right, so that's what we're working with there. Now, one thing that both of these pedals have the capability of is running their looper pre or post effects. I'm not going to flip those around. In the Chroma, you can do that kind of in the setup. So you have to dive into the effects setup, which goes those two buttons here, and then you can do some tweaking and whatnot. So we're not doing that on that. Just know that that's an option. On the Microcosm, when you engage the phrase looper, you see a place for pre-effects. So when you're holding that down, you can, how was that? Yeah, you can kind of figure out where you want to go and whatnot. So that's a way to do that. But the way that I have it set up now, it is going to be pre-effects. And I believe that's the case with this. To be honest, I haven't changed it. So whatever it is default, that's what it is. So, all right, let's talk about the Microcosm. To switch back and forth between a phrase looper and a hold requires that you either use a MIDI controller or you press this button. So with the effect engaged right now, I have a tunnel effect that is going to have this sound right here. Love that sound. Now, if I want to take something I'm playing and hold it, I tap this button real quick that says hold, and I do that when the effect is engaged, when the looper is off, and the looper is off when that button is not glowing, that's not lit. So let's just do a little thing. And it takes that instant when I hit that hold button and it smooths it out as a pad. There is some movement, but it's not going anywhere. And that'll hold until I hit stop. All right, just like that. Now, when you have something held, what does it sound like on top? Okay, let's do that. There's that, and then on top. It appears to me that the effect is not being applied to the incoming signal when the thing is held. at least to my ears. But all right, now how do we do go into the loop? Now you hit that button, and then when you do, sorry, this says phrase looper. When you do that, these three buttons kind of become a standard looper. Sorry. So over here on the left, you have the record, play, and overdub. On the right, you have stop and erase. So really becomes a two pedal because this just kind of turns it on and off as a whole. So if I want to do that little loop, so I would do this. I would, you hit it on the one, right? So like one being at the top of the measure that you're wanting to loop, to record. So there's that loop, it's going. Now I can adjust the loop level by this knob right here. It's a dedicated knob right there. Pressing this button just stops. But because that loop was pre-effects, anything that I'm looping is running through the effect algorithm that's on. Now, I hit stop, but I didn't erase, so I should just be able to hit this again and play. Okay, so that's cool. So you can stop it and then come back to it. Now to overdub, you just hit this button again and do a little playing. Although it does help if the volume knob is on. So let's try this now. And you can continue to overdub. And when you're done, you just hit stop, it fades. You can actually adjust the fade time there as it fades out. Want to play it again? There you go. Both levels are right there. All right. Effects is turned off. Actually, as a whole, there is no effect on right now. It's completely dry. Oh, one thing that's pretty neat, though, if you have that on and you're playing, you just hit this bottom button and it reverses whatever you did. So what you could then do is dub something else while it's in reverse, and then what you dub then comes back in reverse when you switch this. So let's try that. So you can kind of hear it there, but it's going forward. Now when I hit this, check it out. So pretty cool. Turn it off, fades out. Want to play it again? There it is. All three levels, right? So you hit stop, and the effect's still on, and you actually have the ability to continue recording and dubbing this way if you wish. So, all right. So record, play, dub. This is effect on and off. This is stop and erase. So to erase, you just hold down. Blinks at you, and guess what? You have nothing to play because, oh, you're recording because there's nothing there. So, all right, so that's how it works on the Microcosm. It's super cool that you're able to bounce between reverse and not. You could actually, because it's pre-effects, you could change this algorithm and change what it's playing into. You could also have this go to where it's post effects. You can make it looper only. You can do a burst or quantize. There's some other fun things that you can do. There's that. So on the Chroma, here is I have all four of these modules turned on. This is what that kind of sounds like. Right? So it only has 2 buttons versus the 3 on the Microcosm. And this one here really just does on-off bypass and goes into the preset mode. So that means you have a single button right here, a foot switch, to do the capture. They call it capture on the Chroma. And this one button can do a bit of what all of the Microcosm can do. And what I mean by that is, if you noticed in the microcosm at the beginning, we were doing not the phrase looper, but the hold. So you'd have that, you'd play something, you'd hold it, it turns blue. It's like infinitely like repeating. This one button can do that. But then you can also, on the phrase loop, the record and play, this button does that as well, and I'll show you that. What this does not do is overdub. And you cannot actually do any like reversing the way that this button did. So the microcosm definitely goes a little bit more in depth on that. But here's how this works. You can go up to 30 seconds on a capture on the Chroma versus 60 seconds on the microcosm. And the way that this works is that you just hold this button down. You see how it turns red, starting to record? You hold it down for up to 30 seconds. When you let go, it instantly starts playing back. So now, how does it know if you're wanting to do a quick hold, like an infinite pad, or if you're wanting to actually capture a phrase? And it does that based on how long you're holding down the switch. So if it's a quick tap, if it's a quick tap, it's a tap tempo. But if it's a quick hold, then it's going to capture. So let's do that real quick. So if you notice, it's a little more jittery than it did on the microcosm, not quite as smooth. Let's do a little bit longer, see what it does. So I held it long enough that it's actually playing it as a loop, right? Playing on top. Still goes through the effects, which is pretty cool. But if you want it to be a little bit longer, you actually have to hold it down longer. So that would be like this. And then it takes that longer sample and just then loops it. And I am playing over it right now. To stop it, you just hit it again. Now, if you want this to be reversed, you actually have to make this module go to reverse and do it that way. So it is not, it doesn't capture and hold. Sorry, maybe that's the wrong word. It doesn't commit to memory the same way that microcosm does. But it is a little bit more immediate. So for those, I would say, honestly, for those situations where you don't need an infinite hold, like a smooth one, you have a phrase you want looped, this is a quick way to do it. Can't overdub though, but keep that in mind. This can do both. It can do a little bit more, but it's a little more complex getting in and out. And I think where the beauty really lies is doing them together, right? So that's what I was doing at the very beginning. So let's do that real quick. Let's turn this off. So just out of the Chroma, that opening loop. Come back here. Now let's hit record. Go into reverse mode. Adjust the mix. And because it's pre-effects, you can do some changing of algorithms. Now, stop it there on the Chroma. bring the mix up a little bit on Microcosm. Chroma's off completely. The effect, that is. If I turn it on again, effects on, but there's no play. So there's nothing to play. I'd have to basically repeat the recording. So what I did is I recorded on here as this was playing and then turned this off. That's why it continued, right? So they're both off. We know if I turn the chroma back on, there's nothing coming out. If I turn this back on, it's still there. So there we have a little bit there, added at the end. So there we have it, the differences, the similarities between the Microcosm and the Chroma console when it comes to looping. I hope this was informational, educational, and entertaining for you. I hope you learned something and had fun doing it. I certainly had fun doing this with you. So, what did you think? Let us know. Throw some comments down. Let's explore together. And until the next time, peace.